This is To Help You Heal, and I'm your host, Marie Monville. We are going to spend 10 minutes talking about healing. What kind of healing do you need? Is it in your mindset? Is it emotional healing? Is it spiritual healing? You know, there's a lot of healing that we all need, and this is where you're going to find it every week, 10 minutes on Tuesday. I'm so glad you're spending this time with me. This week on our episode of To Help You Heal, I want to tell you about a journey that I've been on these past few weeks. I alluded to it in our episode last week, and so this week, as promised, I'm going to give you the rest of the story. A few weeks ago, I was invited to a bridal shower for a friend, and as I was thinking about what to give her and her soon-to-be husband, I had this idea from the Lord. I decided to make them a journal. I wanted to give them a journal that they could answer one question every week throughout their first year of marriage and spend time not just talking about the answer to the question, but why they felt that way. And so, as I put this together kind of last minute, I just ordered some blank journals on Amazon and I wrote a question at the top of each page. They each had their own journal, and I came up with 13 questions and then I just recycled them 4 times, not with a consistent rhythm to the 13 questions, but just sporadically throughout the 52 weeks. And I gave that to them, but I came away from that gift feeling like it wasn't the best I could have done. But I also came away from it feeling like I wanted to answer some of those questions. I wanted Dan to answer those questions. I felt like they were good questions for any couple to talk about, not just in their first year of marriage, but at any stage in their relationship. Because the reality is that oftentimes our relationship with our partner, whether that's a marriage relationship or not, I think sometimes it ends up taking a back burner to other things that are going on in our lives. You think about difficult situations that you go through or moments of crisis that you walk through with a family member. It takes a toll on what you have to give your spouse. Anything that you walk through impacts the quality of your relationship. And so there are going to be seasons in our partnerships where we're not giving 100% to our partner. They're not really giving 100% to us, and we understand that. We make allowance for that because we know that in those hard moments, life looks a little bit different. But what about the day to day? What about the normal everyday experience of life? Are we in those moments really going after the kind of relationship that we'd want to have with our partner? I mean, from my own honest perspective, I would have to say, not always. Am I always going after a deeper level of relationship with Dan? I mean, I would say yes, consistently across the board, but in every moment, no. And have there been times when our conversation has stayed more surface? Have there been times where we've struggled to connect and really talk through things that matter to each one of us? Sure. And I don't think that it's that we didn't want to do that. I think it's just that in those seasons, we weren't tuning into each other in the way that we know how to tune in now. And so, as I thought about all of these things, thought about this journal that I wanted to give this couple, these questions that I wanted to answer myself, I thought, you know what? Why don't I just do this? Why don't I do this for real? Why don't I put this together and self publish it through Amazon? I had walked that whole self publishing journey just about a year ago when I published my second book called To Help You Heal. And I thought, you know what? I have all this knowledge and experience that I've gained through that process. I'm going to do this. But instead of taking 13 questions and just recycling them and repeating them 4 times, I decided that I wanted to come up with individual questions, one question every week for an entire year. And it's not just about the question, it's about the why behind the question. And I'm happy to say that I'm holding in my hand as we speak the author proof for my book. I've revised it a few times based on colors on the cover and how I wanted things laid out on the backside and all of that. But I anticipate that it will be released somewhere between now and September 2nd. Some of that is completely out of my hands just based on the Amazon review process. But I want to share it with you. I want to read to you from it because I want you to understand my heart behind this journal. So it's a guided journal. It has lined pages. It has one prompt every week. You answer the prompt, your spouse or your significant other, they also answer the prompt, and then you spend time talking about it and talking about the why. So I'm going to share with you what I have written inside this journal. It's very simple, a page called How to Use This Journal. Answer one prompt each week and share your response with your partner. Encourage your partner to do the same. They'll need a separate journal. The initial question will evoke the identification of places where you derive meaning in your relationship, but the transformative insights come from why these moments or experiences impacted you. It's a journey to know yourself and your partner better. While we all have growth opportunities, highlighting the positives instead of incorporating constructive feedback is important. We focus on the negative far too often anyway. Some questions will feel easy, but some will challenge you. Don't skip the hard ones. Instead, ask yourself why they are hard and, when possible, discuss the challenge with your partner after you've shared your answers. During these discussions, embrace trust, vulnerability, and mutual support. Create the time and space necessary to journey beneath the surface answer. Allow these questions to spark deeper discussion, almost like a weekly therapy session. Look for the gifts you can give and receive throughout this process. There is joy ahead, no matter the starting point. You have much to discover, and I'm with you every step of the way. I want couples to really dig into this. And when I'm talking about the why, why something impacted, why it mattered, I want to share a couple of the questions with you to help you understand how I laid them out so that you get to that why. Here is week 18. The question says, when I've had a stressful day and it means so much to me. Here's how it helps me reset. So, in this question, you're going to talk about when you've had a stressful day and your partner does something that helps you. What is that thing? And why does it help you? Why does it help you reset? Because it's not just important for us to give our partner the positive feedback of, hey, when I've had a stressful day and you do this to me, it's meaningful. You do this for me, whatever it is, it's meaningful. Yes, that is beneficial, and giving them that positive feedback is very important. But what matters even more than that is the why. Why was that important to you? Why did that help you reset? Because it gives us the opportunity to identify that for ourselves and identify that for our partner. I think so often we focus on the negatives. Do we not think about the thing sometimes that our partner does that drives us crazy instead of thinking about the good that they do? And I'm not saying that we do that all the time. I mean, I certainly try to keep a balance of that and think of the positives and the things that I love about Dan. They just naturally come to me. But I think there can be moments in each one of our lives where we just get in a negative headspace and where we find it so much easier to identify the negatives. And sometimes it's not just that we're identifying the negatives, it's that we see the positives, but we're not saying them. When was the last time you told your partner things that they do that really matter to you, that are beneficial? Are you doing that every day? We need to be doing that every day. And so this gives you that practical guide of walking through it at least once a week. Here is week 28. When we argue, I know and it's not helping us find a positive resolution. I want to change my response because. So this question is a place of owning, hey, when we aren't in alignment, when we have an argument or when we're disagreeing about something, here's the thing that I do that I know is not helping, and I want to change that. Here's why I want to change that. How valuable, how meaningful would that be to have that dialogue with your partner and talk about that from both sides, from both perspectives? And so this journal leads you through 52 weeks. And there are fun questions in here. One of them, is a question about when I think about a motto or a theme song for the past month of our relationship, the one that comes to mind is, and here's why. So there's fun questions. They're not all just deep and serious, but they're designed to help you identify these places of meaning in your relationship, help you encourage your partner in that, and help you both understand what matters most to each other. And so, as you do these reflections over the course of 52 weeks, and if it takes you longer than that, that is totally fine. You are then going to find a series of 5 reflection questions laid out for you in the same fashion through the journal with the lined pages that help you think about what mattered to you and why it mattered and what you learned along the process, what you discovered, what you want to keep incorporating, and what's next for you. There's a section designed to help you figure out what's next after you've completed that year. And then I have a section of blank pages. I think there's 45 of them, and so you can take almost the entire next year and create your own questions that you want to discuss with your partner, or just have a place to continue your weekly reflections. I'm so excited about this journal. I'm excited about what it's going to do in my relationship, what it's going to do in your relationship. It's called Rooted. And I chose that because I think the roots of anything are what's important, and as we build these relationships with our partners, we need to have roots that are deep and that can withstand the storms, that nourish us, that nourish each other. So it's Rooted: 52 prompts to uncover meaning, encourage growth, and strengthen your relationship. I'll share with you the summary from the back cover before we end this episode. It's more than just a journal. It's a journey designed to deepen your relationship through 52 thoughtfully crafted prompts. Each week, you and your partner will explore these questions separately and then come together to share your insights. This process will spark heartfelt conversations and strengthen your bond. You'll deepen emotional intimacy as you embrace vulnerability and discover new depths in your relationship by understanding each other's most meaningful thoughts and feelings. Cultivate mutual encouragement as you learn to support and uplift each other by sharing what matters and exploring why it matters. See each other through fresh perspectives as you uncover insights and as you grow together in understanding each week. I'm excited for you to get your hands on this. You'll be able to pick it up on Amazon. You'll also be able to order it from my website. On Amazon, you'll find it listed at $12.99. You can grab it on my website for $12 a piece or 2 for $20. So keep watching on social media. I will share with you the date that it goes live. But thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Share this episode with a friend and then come back next week as we continue to talk about these places of healing. Healing for us, healing in our relationships, the healing that God desires for all of us to have. Thanks for joining me.